Hey, everybody. It is Dr. PBJ here again with another episode of Disrupting Burnout. And you know, we are equipping educators with the strategy they need to do purposeful work without burning out. This is what we do around here, and especially in July. We know that July is the time that everybody is going back to school, preparing to go back. Even if you worked all summer, you're preparing for fall and what August means. And this month, we want to be intentional about giving you strategies and tools that you can implement to not just have a good school opening, but we want you to sustain that piece all the way through. So, in the month of July, I have had the honor of introducing you all to educators from different corners of this country with different positions because we are so diverse. Some of us are faculty members, some of us are guidance counselors, some of us are teachers in the classroom, some of us are deans or principals or APs or vice presidents. We are such a diversified field that I want to make sure that we get some different perspectives so that you can be equipped. We've come to teach you and share with you what we have learned. And today I have a special treat. Today is a first for Disrupting Burnout. I have to tell you all that a couple of weeks ago, my husband and I went to a speakers conference, and that could be its own podcast. It was so powerful. But I was standing in line to walk in, and this woman was standing behind me, and we just started talking, and there was an immediate connection. You know how you can just feel, you just know. You never met the person before, but you know that they are your people. You know that, like, I had that feeling. I had that feeling, and we just had a conversation about who we are and what we do. And ever since then, we've been connected. So today, I have the honor of introducing you all to my new friends, Dennis and Whitney James. So I'm going to read their bio, and then we're going to jump into it. Whitney and Dennis both have worked in education for over 12 years and have been youth pastors for over 13 years. Dennis James, known as Coach DJ, is currently the Dean of School Culture and an educator teaching student leadership and career planning in Lake County, Florida. Dennis is also a premier keynote K-12 and ministerial speaker and a published author. Whitney has worked with the Orange County Public Schools Mental Health Services Department, one of the largest school districts in Florida, for over 4 years before becoming a high school guidance counselor at her current school in Lake County, Florida. Together, they own several successful businesses. Their passion and life's work is to equip students and teachers to take ownership of their success through resilience and leadership development. Whitney and Dennis have been married for 12 years and have two beautiful daughters together. When they are not traveling for speaking engagements, they are serving faithfully at their local church and enjoy spending quality time with their family. Dennis and Whitney, welcome to Disrupting Burnout. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Awesome. We're so grateful to be here. I know I am.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Dr. PBJ. It's amazing to just even be here. So thank you.
It's amazing to have you and to hold space with you. Like I said, from my very first meeting, I knew heart knows heart. Heart knows heart. So both of you, I met Whitney first and then I met Coach. And I'm here to tell you immediately I felt connected and knew you were my people. So thank you so much. It's an honor. And I just want to jump right in because I know you have so much to share. Start by telling the people who you are.
Well, my name is Dennis James. As Dr. PBJ alluded to, I've been in education for 12, I believe, going on 13 years now. And it's my passion to see students start at a certain level and to help them elevate and most importantly, prepare them for post-secondary education and their endeavors is my passion. So when it comes to K through 12 education, I'm all the way in.
Yes, sir.
So I am a school guidance counselor. We actually teach at the same or work at the same high school. He's the dean of student culture, and I work in guidance as a guidance counselor. But outside of that, as you said in the intro, I'm a wife, I'm a mother. of two young girls, an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old now, and they keep us busy. And so, yeah, I'm just excited to be here. We run a couple of businesses, one being social media marketing, and then obviously him with the speaking, and getting into schools and kind of touching bases with students as well as teachers, being able to inspire them and get them, pumped up for the year and et cetera. So we're just excited to be here.
Oh my goodness. Listen, y'all, if you're watching, I'm not crying yet. Okay. I'm not crying yet, but my allergies are going crazy. So if you're watching, you see me wiping my eyes. I got to dive in because I need you all to share. So you work at the same school, you have two little girls, you have more than one business, you are ministers and speaker. Okay. You need to talk to the people about how in the world are you doing all of those things and getting them done?
Well, first off, let me preface it and say, number one, it's not easy. So I'm not gonna, what I'm gonna share is not gonna make it seem as if it's easy. But one of the things that I had to learn over the years is that there are seasons throughout the entire school year. So what may be required of me from August to September or August to October is going to be different than what's required from me from January. And especially when I'm in basketball season, my wife knows that she's probably going to carry the bulk of household responsibilities and duties, et cetera, up until about March. And from March to May or to the first part of June, I pick up where she left off. So we've learned, in order to balance it, we have to understand that there are seasons attached to the year. And that's kind of really been helping us a lot.
Yeah, we tag team. You have to be friends first to make it happen, and teammates. Sometimes, like he said, he's running and going here and there, whether it's for basketball or speaking, traveling, things like that, or vice versa. I have clients that I meet with, and to help them with their branding and social media and things like that. So then he's taking on, the home. We're balancing each other out so that we can ultimately, reach our goal together collectively. So
That's the key. That's the key to not just be in a marriage, but be in an aligned marriage, right? So it's not just in coach's direction. It's not just about what God is doing in him. It's not just about what God is doing in Whitney, but you all understand that there's a pace to it and there's an alignment to it. And in the seasons where someone else needs to show up more so that the other person can be released, you've learned that dance, you've learned that pace and how to support each other. And it is so critical, whether you work at the same place or not, whether couples are both in education or not. Our gift in education is our schedule is pretty predictable. Like our academic years, we can kind of plan around it for the most part. Now we won't talk about the COVID years, but we can kind of plan, around it. We know what to expect throughout the academic year. So that empowers you to be proactive with your family, right? To make sure that your home is taken care of, that your girls are taken care of, and that you're getting all the things done, right? To be all, because what you all are carrying is one thing to be in ministry with you. That's another thing. But being dean is also ministry. Students bring to school their whole life. When you say you're an educator, people automatically think, "Oh, you got the summers off." That's all they know. They have no idea. Between guidance counselor and dean, you all know that these children bring their entire life with them to school. And whatever challenges your local community deals with, you dealing with it in that school. If there's homelessness, if there's food insecurity, whatever the challenge is in the community, that community comes to your school. And now you have some responsibility to responding to it and supporting. So how do you manage the responsibilities of your ministry at work and your ministry while not allowing it to infiltrate your home?
Take that one. I'll take it.
that was good. That was a good
Well,
one.
I think honestly, to be honest with you, in the beginning parts of our marriage and also in the education, we didn't have kids early on. So we about 3 to 4 years into our marriage we started having kids. And I think when our kids came, it really helped us shape the importance of having balance. And so understanding how to leave work at work, understanding how to leave ministry at church, and so that really helped us. And I think, and once again, it's to each his own. So you have to learn how to navigate based upon what your individual lifestyle entails. But we had to learn that over time that in order for us to stay sane, right, in order for us to flourish individually in our marriage as parents and in the workplace, we had to care while we were there, but then we had to leave it where we when we left.
Yeah. For me, boundaries are big. Like I'm big on boundaries. I would say me more so than he is. He's a people person. He gravitates to people and being there. That's the passion that he has for not just kids, but also, just people in general. And I love people too. I do. But I know, like, I've always been big on boundaries, and this is my core people. Me, my husband, my girls. This is my first ministry, and if I don't hold on to this with everything that I have, everything else is going to crumble, and I'm gonna be left with nothing. So I just keeping that in the forefront of our mind has helped us a whole lot. I would say, in our
Can I
marriage.
can I jump in and say this? One big thing that helped me really shift my paradigm was understanding that these spaces outside of my family, if I ever leave or I ever die or leave this earth, they're gonna replace me within 2 weeks, right? And so that understanding really helped shape. Okay, I have to give my energy and I have to give what I'm called to give in this space, but I'm replaceable at my job. All right, I'm replaceable in my ministry, but I'm not replaceable as a husband and as a father. So that really helped me shift the paradigm of how to place energy and what spaces need to be placed.
That's
Oh, that's so good.
that's good.
That's so good. That's so good. Um, I telling on myself. So I shared a little bit with you all about how I hit burnout real hard. And one of the things that I messed up in that I should have done better was my child felt like she needed to make an appointment with me while I was out here serving everybody else's child. I'm getting up in the middle of the night, going to the hospital, going to the jail, going to the campus, doing whatever needed to be done to take care of other people's children. And my baby felt like my job was so important that she needed to stay out of my way. And when I hit rock bottom and I was working my way through it, one of the things that Holy Spirit brought to my attention is when you get to heaven, you're going to have to stand before God about how you love this one. She got one Mama Patrice. I'm stepmama, but she calls me Mama Patrice. She's got one Mama Patrice. One. Edward has one wife. And before me and Jesus discuss anything else that I've done, how were you a wife to him? And how were you a mama to her? So what you're saying, coach, is so real. It shifts our perspective because I told myself I was doing the Lord's work.
Mhm.
I'm out here serving. I'm helping people. I'm doing what I'm helping my family and I'm helping these people. And the perspective shift was I was doing too much. I thought people needed me. They didn't need me as much as I thought they needed me. It was my need to be needed. I got to tell on myself because it's going to free somebody. It was my need to be needed. So I had to get my mind on straight and decide what am I unwilling to lose? Where do I draw the line and say, you can take this title, you can take this job, you can even take this salary, but here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to lose my relationship with God. I'm not going to give up my health anymore. I'm not going to lose my marriage, and I will not lose my baby. And I had to start making decisions based on those values. I had to start behaving according to those values. So it takes a shift. It takes a shift to acknowledge what's important. And Whitney, I love the way you describe y'all's relationship, because with you having what I call an anointing for boundaries, like it sounds like it comes easy for you. Yeah, you don't struggle with the boundaries. Where coach might have to think about it and he might double dutch a little bit. You come in like, nah, we good. Here's the line. Remember, here it is. But that's the beauty. That's the beauty of partnership. That's the beauty of partnership. You know, I always tell my husband, I will quickly say yes. I have to be careful because if somebody asks me, my first answer is yes, right? My husband has an anointing for no. Oh, no comes easy to him. He don't mind. No is his first response. And then he'll think about it and it might turn to a yes. But no is his first response. And I used to fight against that because I didn't understand it. I thought he was holding me back. I thought he didn't understand what the Lord has called me to do. I'm not telling nobody business. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I thought well, you just don't understand. You don't understand what the Lord has called me to do. You don't understand what this job requires. You don't understand. This is what I told myself. But now I understand that he is a gift to me. He's a gift to me. We're not supposed to be alike. I don't need another me. I don't need another me. He brings that piece of me that I'm missing so that both of us can be collectively and individually be everything that we were created to be. So I want to honor your partnership and your positions in that partnership and how the best of you comes out. Not just it's for your family, yes, but it also helps you serve better. It helps you show up better. It helps you speak better. It helps you impact better, coach, because you got a partner who understands boundaries and naturally connects with those boundaries. So y'all got a good thing going on. Y'all got a good thing going on. I love it. I love it. So both of you being in education and in the same school, like you work together in the same space. Talk about some things that you've learned about how to preserve and protect your marriage, not just your family, but outside of the girls, your marriage. What have you learned about that? Hey, friend, listen, I have an exciting news for you. So, if you've been following, you know I've been writing this book and I am so excited about getting it into your hands. And guess what? Today, I'm offering you the first sample of my new book, Disrupting Burnout, friend. Listen, we have more work to do, okay? It's still going to professional editing. We still need to design the book, but I can't wait till all that's done for you to start digging in. So there's a sample copy that I read myself for you that's available to you today. All you have to do is go to www.patricebucknerjackson.com/book. Again, patricebucknerjackson.com/book. Grab your sample, listen to the sample chapter, and listen, let me know what you think. I cannot wait for you to hear this book. Friend, go grab it today.
So I would say, so this is at this particular school that we're at, this is our first year working together. He's been there for 3-4 years. But prior to that, we did work at another public high school together. So we've always kind of co-worked together in some way, even when it came to building our business, which we're really big on entrepreneurship and kind of, helping others in that way. So we've always been kind of tag teaming in a way. I think the biggest thing, and we talked about boundaries, but just to go a little deeper into that, I think there's layers to that. There are boundaries when it comes to people, which is something that I think, like we said, he had more of a struggle with in the beginning. But there's boundaries when it comes to ambition and business acumen. And for me, that's always been like I'm very goal oriented. I'm very when I he says I'm a pit bull. When I got my mind locked into something, I don't let it go. So I had to learn how to, okay, put the MacBook away. Like, at this time of the day, we have we got to pick back up on it, but we used to have what is called a no phone zone. So no business going on during a certain time of the day, so that we can focus more time with each other. You know, it goes back to what we said in the beginning. Like, it was us before it was children. It was us before there was a business. It was us before there was a career path. So just keeping the main thing. Um, Date often. Like, we are advocates of, let's get the babysitter or auntie or somebody to watch the girls, because we want to make sure that we keep this intact. So.
Yeah, it's funny because when you were saying earlier about your need to be needed, I think for me early on, um, being a basketball coach, working at the school, and a lot of people gravitated towards me, and so I think for me, having my wife work with me over the course of those years, it actually helped me balance what was most important by being on campus with her. So there are even times now where, because she's working, she's a guidance counselor in high school. So there are times now where there are certain discipline reports that I need to get in that I'm kind of lagging behind in, that because I'm taking care of some other responsibilities from a coaching standpoint. And she'll send me an email, she'll send me a text, hey, you need to get this in. I think that accountability for me is um, it's almost kind of like an intermingling of, okay, yes, we're here working together, but in essence, once again, when we retire from this field, we're still going to be together. So let's make sure that we keep this the foundation so that it intermingles with everything that we're doing. So I think that's a key component that's really kind of helped us.
That's so good. And y'all are right. Our baby is 22 and she has her own life doing her own thing. I can't tell you how many times a week we're like, have you talked to her? No. Have you talked to her? She got the nerve to have a life. The nerve of her. I mean, she's working full time, and she's beautiful. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for the child that the Lord blessed us with, because she is absolutely phenomenal. But this young woman has her own life. And now it's us. And I'm so glad that we always knew it was us. I'm so glad that we never forgot that it was us, because when she moved on, we still like each other. We still enjoy each other. We still want to spend time together. We know who we are, And even now, there are times she'll say, "Oh, I'm coming to visit." Be like, "Oh no, we out of town, baby. We 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 left. We'll catch you next time." And it's not that we don't love our baby. Of course, we want to see her, but it's us. It's us. We committed until death do us part. We made a covenant and we meant that thing. We meant that thing. So talk to people who do your work, right? So I've spoken to some classroom teachers, but I really need to speak to you all as administrators and staff in a school. What are some of those pressures of August? So some of the things that come as you kick off. Now, don't tell your school's business. You don't have to do that, but just we know. We already know. But just talk about some of those pressures that come in August, and how are you preparing right now to walk into August with peace?
I'm 12 months, so I'm working year round. So I'm still, although it's obviously a lighter load because students aren't there coming into the office and things like that. But sending out, I'm still meeting with parents over the summer to help, guide, their students or what their academic track is. We're still, kind of keeping the flow going, and when it comes to communication via email, making sure the students know, hey, I don't want to, give you a countdown to school start, but I want to give you a countdown to school starts so that you can start thinking about these things and preparing for August. I think preparation, I'm big on preparation. Preparation is key, even mentally, My husband and I were just talking the other day. Let's make sure that we, take that one last vacation with the
Mhm.
girls because you want to soak up as much time as possible. So although we're preparing to go into August, not allowing that preparation to take away from the time that we do have, in the summertime. So
Mhm.
I think, from my, and that was a great point. I think from my end, I'm thinking more so along the lines of structure and programming. So from my aspect, a lot of my work is disciplinary work. So just making sure that we have correct structure because we're at a private school, so we have kids who are transferring from the public sector, which is a different mindset, a different culture, etc. So we have to have structure in place so that when they get there, we're not scratching our heads, we're not scrambling everywhere. And then from a programming standpoint, having those SEL type programs to help high schoolers as well, but a lot of our middle schools are rambunctious. So so they're all over the place. So having programming like male mentorship programming and setting up different activities throughout the course of the year, so that we're not just handing out disciplinary actions, but we have programming that we can send the kids to help redirect them, modify those behaviors. So
That's good. That's good. So what I heard, Whitney, what I heard you say is not allow your summer to be stolen. Worried about August, right? And I'm so glad you spoke for the 12-month employees, because sometimes it feels like, well, dang, I didn't get a break. And my answer is, friend, why didn't you take one? Right? So if we know that we are 12 months, we've got 12 months to stretch that PTO. We know what the academic year looks like, right? So we can look now and start planning. Okay, this is a long weekend. I'm gonna take a mental health day there. We're gonna go out of town there. And that way you got some stuff to look forward to, right? So you can already plan. You don't have to wait until it's upon you. And then I can't find a sub, or I don't, somebody else in the office is out. And you make all of these excuses of why you can't get the rest time that you need. When right now, before the semester even starts, right now, you can look at this academic year and say, I'm going to take time here. We're going to take time together here. Whitney's going to take time by herself here. Like this is, and that way you already know, you know it's coming, and you don't have to like be behind the eight ball and worried about why you're not gonna get a break. Go ahead, sis.
yeah, no, that's so important. Even when I worked on the district level, I just watching. I remember this story about, Coach DJ kind of alluded to it. There was a guy who worked in our department, and he was dealing with some health issues, but he had been with the district for like almost 30 years. Yeah. So, but and he was excellent at what he did. But over the winter break that year, God rest his soul, he ended up passing. I got a text from my boss saying, all in one text, not sure if you heard that Don passed. We need to go ahead and post his position. All in one post. That thing, it took me for a loop because I'm like, I haven't even processed the fact that this man who we've spent so much time with has just passed. And now it's like, boom, we need to fill his position. I said all of that to say, take your time. Like the time that you have that they give you, take that mental health time, holiday time, vacation time, because yes, no, we want to give our all to the position that we've been hired for. We want to come up and show up fully for that, but we want to also show up fully for ourselves. Because if we don't, nobody else will. That was a life turning moment for me when I got that text message. That was life turning for me. I realized then, hey, this job, you're a number. Like you're filling a position to get a job done. And as an entrepreneur, I get it in a sense, but you want to take care of yourself because no one else will. So take out that time. You have your schedule at this point. Most schools know what their calendar looks like for the upcoming year. Start planning that vacation time, that taking those mental, even if you don't know that you're going to have a mental health, you need a mental health break. When exams are coming up, plan ahead for that. So just make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
I want to jump on this before we pass it to Dr. PBJ. We recently been trying to get my daughter off of her sippy cup, and she would not go to sleep. This was back in January. She would not go to sleep, and I was in the back of the cupboard here about a week ago, and I saw the sippy cup. Then I said to myself, "Wow, we can do without what we think we can't do without. You know, we can do without what we think we can't do without." And so understanding that the sub may not do it the way I do it, but they're going to get the job done, right? You know, from an administrative standpoint, the show's going to keep moving. So let me take this time for myself, because at the end of the day, once again, the job is essentially going to get done if you're there or not.
And the show is supposed to go on. It's supposed to, right? Maybe not in the same text. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. But it's supposed to go on. Just last week, we had a loss. So a man who was my student at one time, and then he became a colleague in higher ed, 32 years old. He leaves work early on a Friday to head to his hometown, and he never made it. Had a tragic car accident, and held on for a few days and then went home to be with the Lord. But I say that to say, you may not be old or older. You may not be sick. We don't know. We don't know what this life is going to bring. What are you waiting for? Why do we keep waiting? I'm going to wait to take the big trip. I'm going to wait to take an international trip. I'm going to wait to take my days. I'm going to add all my days up. For what, friend? Where you going? Like, what's the plan? What's the plan? We just keep putting it off and putting it off and waiting and waiting and waiting instead of living for today. Tomorrow's not promised to anybody. It's not promised to anybody. So, and they will fill his position. They have to. He worked in student activities. He was associate director, so in charge of concerts and speakers and everything big that happened on campus. A lot of that went through his hands. They have to fill that. And they honestly need to fill it before August. I don't know if they'll be able to do it, but they need that filled in order to serve the students who are going to show up in August and need that kind of support. And them feeling that is not a disrespect to him. Now, here's the truth. They'll never get another Paul. They'll fill the position, but they won't take his place. They'll never get another Paul, but somebody's going to fill that position. And somebody's going to do the job, because we have to. We have to. So we've got to keep in mind, when we think about self-care, when we think about taking time off, when we think about our boundaries, when we think about being intentional, I always say you are your first advocate. If you don't value you, how do you expect other people to value you? There's no superhero. Nobody's coming to save you. If you don't want to take your time, we're going to let you work, friend. Like, with all the things on your plate, you don't have time to look at everybody around you and say, you haven't taken any time off. You need to be the one to say, I haven't taken any time off. And as a matter of fact, here's my time off plan for the next 6 months. Would you like to discuss?
That part.
Because I come back better. I come back better after I've had a disconnect, after I've had real rest, after I have stepped away from the email, stepped away from the pressure. I come back better after I've had time. So I would love for you all to speak to people who are new in education. Folks, maybe this is their first academic year and they're excited and they're ready to go, but they don't know what they're walking into. What piece of advice would each of you give to new folks in education?
I would say this has really been my driving force from the beginning of education to now. Connection over performance. Connection over performance, because I believe a lot of, especially with standards and meeting certain quotas, testing, so many things, that the pressures that teachers in the classroom are under. And it's so easy to walk into a classroom as a first year teacher, second year teacher, and your mindset is focused on numbers. Those kids in your class can care less about those numbers. And I've learned over the years that they perform better when you connect with them. So when you focus on connection, it may be something as simple as, having a snack stash in your room, right? And making them work, having a reward system that you're using, and that works on all levels. I've seen high schools get excited about snacks at the level of a third grader. All right, and so I would say connection over performance, and you'll every all the numbers and the performances that you want to achieve as a teacher, they'll come as a byproduct of student connection.
Mhm.
I would say bring your full self to the table. You being new to the position actually brings a new energy to your team, and use that as your superpower, but also lean heavy into those who are seasoned, so that they can tell. You have to pace yourself. You have to pace it. A lot of times we like to, because we're new at it, we like to just go and give our all, but you have to pace it. You have to pace yourself. And I know the importance of mentorship and community. So lean into that. Lean into seasoned teachers who've been here for a while, and but still come fully as yourself, being new with innovative ideas and excitements.
That's so good. That's so good. I have to go back when you talk about connection over performance. It's the little things. If they know you care, they'll learn. If they know you care, they'll be open to learn. And you talking about high schoolers being excited. I got college students who would fill my office for some M&Ms. I mean, you let me tell y'all something. I used to do something called BTK Day. So I taught freshman seminar, the first class, everybody's required to take it. It teaches you how to study, what the resources are on campus, that kind of thing. So I taught that every year, even though my role was dean of students or vice president. I taught it every year because it kept me connected. It kept me connected, not just to students, because I knew the leaders, but to freshmen. It kept me connected to freshmen. And every year at the end of the semester, I would do what I call BTK Day, back to kindergarten day. I would bring coloring books, crayons, Play Doh, cookies, milk. I would read Dr. Seuss to them. No, I'm talking about I'm sitting in a chair like the librarian. They're sitting in front of me with their cookies and milk, and I'm holding up the book, reading Oh, the Places You Will Go to college freshmen. I'm here to tell you they loved it. I even did it with my staff a couple of times. And those who would allow themselves to lay down the serious for a minute appreciated it. Because inside of us, all of us need a moment. All of us need a moment. So it's little things. We always think, well, I don't have time. I can't afford it. Friend, have you tried? It's a little thing. It's the little thing. So that is such good advice. But also, Whitney, you saying be yourself, shine. This is not a time to shrink. It's not. If you were hired, that means there's secret sauce in you that they need. They need you. They need you to do it your way. And yes, lean into people, learn from them, but don't imitate. Inspiration and imitation are two different things. And you can be inspired by somebody without imitating them, because you'll never be a good them and they'll never be a good you. So that is so good. That y'all, we got to let the people go. I could talk to y'all all day. This is so good. We got to let them go. But before they go, I need you all to share what are all the things that you're offering. Coach, talk about your speaking, what you speak about, where you speak at. Whitney, the businesses, like how do people connect with you? How do they know more about you and what you're doing?
Well, my Instagram handle is Coach DJ Inspires across the board. So that's Twitter, Threads, Facebook. Um, but my main thing is resilience. That's when I'm speaking at high schools, when I'm speaking at different events, just teaching students and teachers alike how to when life is hitting you, when things are not going as necessary, teaching you how to pivot, how to lay into those moments and be able to adapt and still excel. So my MO is resilience, and that's my goal everywhere I go as it relates to my speaking engagements.
You can follow me on Instagram at Whitney Tyshay, Whitney Tashay. My business for business branding is Plain Vision Digital. You can visit plainvisiondigital.com, or you can send me an email at plainvisionbranding@gmail.com. If you are looking to those who are grassroots in their business, looking to brand their business, looking for social media management, because that's not everybody's forte, but we know we have to be on social media. But yeah, and then also we're in the middle of tour right now. So Dennis is and our brother Donovan Cohen, they're doing the Dream Again tour. So we are going and partnering with different churches, youth groups, cities, or however. So they're pushing the message of giving people permission to dream again. I think so often you could talk on this more than I can, but especially as adults, we tend to allow life to snatch our dreams, and not realizing that the dream that's within us is from God, and so we're supposed to lean into that. So yeah, you can find the information about Dream Again, or if you're looking to bring coach and the team in, for example, at Dream Again, the dreamagaintour.com. We're also on Instagram. So that's that.
Oh, listen, I speak blessings over you all. I speak blessings over you all. May everything that you touch multiply. May your home be protected and full of peace and full of joy. And may everything that you need pour your way in the name of the Lord Jesus. And I pray that every room that you walk into, every stage that you stand on, every time you hold a microphone, every time a child is sitting before you, that they receive exactly what they need, not from you, but from the Holy Spirit that abides on the inside of you. May all of your footsteps be ordered as they are, and everything you touch turn to gold. I believe that. I believe that. I believe that. And I'm so honored to be connected to you all. I consider myself family.
I just want to say, you said in the beginning, but our connection was definitely divine. I believe that God sent us to the same conference, and what was that? The last day of the conference is when we connected. Your story has inspired us so much. It has taken us from that day on. We have a whole new level of just drive and assurance that God is for us in these pivotal moves that we're getting to make. So I just keep doing what you're doing. You are amazing. You are amazing. You are a gem. And so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the podcast, where this is going.
Excited for the book, Dr.
The
PBJ.
book. Yeah,
Thank y'all. It's coming.
In Florida. You have family in Florida.
Amen. Amen. Well, listen, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything was meant to be. And because of that, I honor it. I honor this connection, and I honor whatever God wants it to be. That's what it's going to be. It's good with me. So thank you all for the time. Thank you for taking a few minutes from the girls and everything that you're doing to share with us. Friends, you heard it here. A few things from this conversation. Number one, you're not boxed in. Just because you have a title, a position, a responsibility at work, that doesn't mean that's the only thing you're supposed to do. And sometimes you are seeking motivation externally from your job, and it was never meant to motivate you. Maybe you're the one that's supposed to bring the motivation. Maybe there's something outside of your job that you're supposed to be doing. There's a passion, and maybe your job is supposed to pay for that. Maybe the purpose of your job is to finance and fuel the passion and the purpose that God has assigned you to. And Whitney and Coach DJ, they are witnesses. They are examples. And just like he did it for them, he'll do it for you. You are not boxed in. You're not stuck. You're not stuck. Stop depending on your school district, your college, your university to bring you peace. It's not their role. You take the peace with you. You take the motivation with you. You take the purpose with you. You take your why with you. They need you to show up fully. So I hope your heart is encouraged. And I know it is. I know it is. So as always, you are powerful, you are significant, and you are loved. Love always. PBJ. Bye, y'all.